Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to discuss about analyzing the macro environment using PESTEL framework. Before proceeding further, I would like to ask from you if any of you have heard the words of macro environment. Have you heard that word? Yes, I can see Dulini has replied. Then what about the PESTEL? Have you heard of that word, PESTEL? Right, superb. Durini has replied again, and I can see that some others also have replied. Then some are explaining actually components of PESTEL. Great, great, right. Anyway, for all, we will be going through this session, so we'll be familiar with these terms very soon. Objectives of today's session. Today's session will be covering what business environment is, layers of business environment, analyzing the macro environment using PESTEL framework, and critical success factors. Right, those are the things that we are going to cover within today's session. At the end of this presentation, you should be able to explain the concept of business environment and explain the layers of business environment. Actually, we'll be studying those 3 layers. Then use PESTEL for analyzing the business environment of a given organization. So you are supposed to analyze a given business using this framework and identify the critical success factors. This is the structure. Actually, this is a 3rd session of understanding strategic development presentation series you have been engaged in, right? Presentation today also runs from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. with 1 hour lunch break and 2 tea breaks, 15 minutes each. Hope you are okay with this setup, or should I change anything to this structure?
Okay, this is fine.
Okay, super. Then actually we will be doing a couple of activities or group activities also. In case if please group into the previously introduced groups as we have already formed your groups, and copy of the presentation I have already shared with you, and you may put additional notes only when required. Now your environment. Before moving to the environment or the business environment term, you know the environment around us. So why do you think that we must be aware of the environment around us? Why do you think that we must be aware of the environment surrounded by us? What do you think? Can someone unmute and speak?
It can affect our business activity.
Superb, Dulini, superb. All the changes of the environment will affect our day-to-day business operations, either adversely or positively. Therefore, it is a must for us to be aware of what is going around us. You know that we are in the process of studying strategic development approach, right? Under that, I have already explained you that there are 3 major components of strategic development. That is strategic position, strategic choices, and strategy in action. But of course, strategic position means knowing where we are. To know where we are, right, we must know about our environment. We must know about our strengths and capabilities. Finally, we must know the expectations of our organizations or our shareholders. Actually, firstly, we are going to study of this environment. We are not going to cover whole things of the environment, but a component of environment that is called macro environment, about which you will be studying very soon. Right, what is business environment? Now we are going to do a small activity in order to be familiar with this term or for your better understanding. Right, this is the case I'm going to do now. Assume that you are running a boutique shop or small shop nearby a well-known archaeological site. Let's say it is Sigiriya, and think of the surrounding or the environmental factors which will affect your boutique business. Actually, I am going to put all your ideas at a whiteboard also for easy reference. Now, As an example, I'll tell you an example also. Let's say that I have a boutique shop nearby Sigiriya. Now, let's say a change. Now, the weather is not very bad. It's heavy raining. Now, weather is going to affect us very badly. That is one of the environmental changes which will affect our business operation. What are the other things do you think? Now, weather is one. What else do you think?
Curfew caused by the government?
Curfew, superb, Dulini. You know that we had a curfew period earlier also during the COVID period. So the Sigiriya was shut or the people were not allowed to move here and there. The tourists were not there. The business come down. Business came down. What else? One has replied that bees attack. Oh, you know that Bambara Prahara is there. So definitely due to that bees attack also, there will be closing or close period for Sigiriya for the visitors. Definitely that will impact our boutique performance badly since the visitors will not be coming. Then what else? Anything else?
Opening up a new shop?
Superb, Dulini. Opening up a new shop. That is another view, right? Let's say another shop is opening nearby our boutique shop. Definitely our business is going to affect badly. Likewise, superb. Thank you for your responses. We can see that there are 4 such environmental factors which are going to affect our business. Likewise, you can see the first one is something related to weather, right? Environment. The second one is something related to that is actually something related to government policies, and bees attack also environmental factor, and even opening up a shop also that is something very effective. It has a greater impact towards our operation rather than the other thing, because that is something coming from our industry itself. You will be studying that. So you can see from this exercise also that there are different kind of environments which are affecting our business operations, right? Then I'll share my presentation again. What are these environments? These are called layers of business environments, right? There are 3 such major layers. The first one is the macro environment, right? You can see the organization we are here. This is the one which has the highest distance from our organization. That is the macro environment. The next is the industry or sector environment. The closest is the competitors. So today, actually, we are going to discuss only about this macro environment and analysis. But anyway, for your convenience, I'll be going through other 3 terms also. Macro environment means consists of broad environmental factors that impact to almost all organizations. As an example, political changes, economical changes, social changes. Definitely, these changes will impact whatever the business or business operations around Sigiriya, right? So PESTEL framework is the best tool which is used in analyzing or understanding those surroundings. The next one is industry or the sector. It says that the businesses producing the same products or services are called industry, right? You know that telecommunication industry, in our example, actually, uh, tourism industry. We have a boutique shop. There will be another tourist guide also who is in the same tourism industry. Both are in the same industry. So in this section, we are going to study how the players in the same industry are affected through these environmental changes. The third one is the competitors. So those are the closest one, right? Under the competitors, actually, there are some other terms called strategic groups and market segments, about which you will be studying in further in near future in our other presentations. But right then, actually, our focus for today's session is towards the PESTEL in micro environment. You can see that these are the component of this PESTEL. Now, P stands for political, E stands for economic. Likewise, you can see there are 6 such categories which we can think of that a business will have an impact from the surrounding. Now, I'm going to explain in detail about these six components. The first one is political, right? You know that once the curfew is imposed by the government, now we had an impact for our business. That means government policy. That is one of the key political environmental change, right? Likewise, there are political stability we had in the recent past, and the tax policy is there, that is also impact, that has also impact towards our business operation. Then the E is for economic. Now we don't have an economic growth, actually we have a negative economic growth, so that has a huge impact toward our operations, not only for only a boutique, for almost all the operation we have that issue. Then exchange rate, now dollar rates are going up. All these impacts are coming under economical environmental change, right? Then social, the population growth, age distribution, or cultural changes, lifestyle changes, all these are affecting our business operation, and we have to adjust our operations accordingly. That is the social impact. The third one is technology. The research and developments are there, or the people are inventing new process, new machineries, or new softwares, from which actually there is an impact toward our day-to-day business operation. The next one is the environmental one. We explain very clearly in our CGV case. Rain or the bad weather impacted our business operation. Likewise, there are some other factors such as climate changes, environmental policies, etc. And the last one is the legal aspects. When the government imposes some laws related to labor or some laws related to consumer protection, definitely those environmental changes are going to impact or affect our day-to-day business operations. Right. Up to now, actually, let me know whether are you okay or are you clear with all these explanations, or should I explain further with examples? Super. Okay. Dulin says, okay. Now, next, we are going to do a small activity in order to actually check whether you have understood these theories properly. Now, what I am going to do is, I am telling of this farmer, right? I am telling of this textile factory owner and the bank for which these outer environmental changes, right? Then you are going to answer me the which kind of environmental changes it is, that is according to the PESTEL framework. As an example, for a farmer, fertilizer ban we had, that was a policy or the political impact. Likewise, tell me that about the adverse weather, which kind of impact it is.
Environmental.
Super, environmental. Then think of a textile factory owner, right? Exchange rate, how is going to happen?
Economical.
Super. Then new tech machine is coming to the factory or coming to the market. Technological. Then import restrictions are there.
Political.
Super. Now think of a bank. Interest rates are going up.
Economical.
Super. Customer protection law, customer charter.
Legal.
Super, Abdul. Super. Seems that you have grasped or understood what we have discussed today. You know that there are so many changes in the outer world, but we must understand the critical macro elements, right? Which will affect the business the most. There may be elements which are changing, but having a very minor or a moderate impact towards our businesses. But we must think of critical element changes because definitely we have to address those changes in order to have a better operation or in order to avoid interaction for our operation. So having a better understanding on the macro environment of an organization enables the business to accurate strategies plan, because we are in the process of making strategic plans, right? That is our ultimate aim. Then, but Only considering the environmental factors, you can't draw this strategy. I told you, when we look at the environment, right? When we look at where we are under the where we are position, right? You must look at our capabilities and expectations also. Blending all these together, you can have a very better idea of where we are, and you can move into the next step of strategic development process. Is there anything should I further clarify up to this point, or any other views on these factors?
Up to now, all is clear.
Okay, Dulini, thank you. Thanks a lot. Right. If I am to recap what we studied today, we studied on what is business environment, layers of business environment, and analyzing macro environment using PESTEL framework. Finally, critical factors for a business plan. That is the recap for the day. What is next? Actually, I told you that we are in the process of studying that broad strategic development process, under which now we are studying the environmental analysis, under which also actually we have covered only this macro environment part using PESTEL analysis. The next day we will be covering this industry or sector. The next point, definitely you must join and you must be thorough of those knowledge also. So hope you have no any other queries, right? If any other issues or clarification, you are feel free to contact me through the given information here or the contact details here. Then thank you. Thanks a lot. Wish you all the very best.